Previously, on the secrets of Neros, 4 brave souls find themselves in a struggle against the cult of Eldeath, who have rapidly gained influence over the town of Kron. The party didn't engage the cult at first, and tried to stick to their own business. However, over time, they noticed that tieflings and warlocks were being executed in the streets, with alarming frequency. As more time passed, the party learned that Eldeath's reach extended much farther than they initially imagined, as the Coast Crusaders already seen Neros' tiefling population hunted down to near extinction. On the few occasions our heroes have interacted with Eldeath's lower ranks, caustic words dripping with venom oozed from the cultists' mouths, accompanied with an eerie smile which never left their faces even when faced with the prospect of certain death. Eventually, the party confronted Velen, an Eldeath cleric who the party sought justice against, although this chance at retribution vanished as quickly as it appeared, as he too slipped away. The party's only takeaway is the knowledge that the cult appears to be in the process of assembling an army of flesh golems to further enforce their malign agenda, and quite possibly the first step in their endgame. Since this encounter, the party have attempted to keep a low profile, but have seen the town of Kron become more restless and desolate, as distrust, resentment, and paranoia grow day by day. Whilst the group figure out the best way forward, they took a job protecting Colin Featherwire and his assistant Gibbles, as the former inspected 2 warehouses around Kron. However, during the second inspection, the owner sprung an ambush on our unsuspecting heroes. The hired mercenaries swiftly descended on the party and launched a barrage of attacks against Colin and Gibbles. However, the ruffians were less successful against our heroes, and were eventually dispatched. After escorting the VIPs to a nearby hospital, the group retired for the evening, when Flint was once again confronted by the demon in his dreams that now has a gift for him. And thus, our story continues, as we learn the secrets of Neros.
Blame Doom for making a silly name.
Yes, let's blame Doom for making another silly name, filling to Tilly McGillian. Gibbles, Gibbles.
Derpy derp, diddly derpy derpy
What's that
derp.
fun with the name?
Rated PG-13.
What's the problem with that?
That command is going to get abused to death. I might actually have to disable it if we keep doing that. I don't think you can hear the other times because I actually turned off had that muted. But yeah, because it's coming from my desktop audio, that will be audible now. So yeah, don't do the sound commands. Trying to go
I only
dramatic.
called that at the end. What is that? Is that you doing that, or is that from something?
Nope, South Park. It's a Rob Schneider, derpy derp. It's that. It's the end of that skit. Yeah, Zach suggested something else, but I just thought, no, it has to be that.
I'm Mr. Doop.
Anyway, we're going off topic before we've even started. This is D&D, Secrets of Neros. Many dramatic things are happening. Even as a gift of Flint, we're probably in trouble somehow in some way. Doom, over to you.
What?
If it's a severed head, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, with that music, we're definitely preparing for trouble. Jesse James. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, Flint. You're lying in bed and the shadow is stood looking at you again. It looks down at you and you can see a smile stretch across its darkened face. I have a gift for you, Flint. This was not easy to get, but I'm sure it's one you will like. Slowly, it reaches a hand over you and places it against your chest. The heat seems bearable at first, but it quickly starts to increase. More and more. It turns from burning to searing.
Am I actually able to move?
You are locked in place still.
Okay.
The most you can move is your eyes. You can't utter sound, you are simply trapped, experiencing this pain. As you look down, you see your clothing start to burn away at your chest that you were wearing. And underneath you see your Skin starts to char as a symbol starts to appear in it. Then the hand pulls away.
What did you do?
You know, every decision we make, it has consequences. You feel your eyes starting to grow heavy. The pain is still there, but it seems to be dragging you under. Every decision. The room starts to disappear, and you find yourself instead in the church. Your arm is raised, and you are looking down on the crowds. And there's a little tiefling girl with a knife to her throat. You feel the energy welling up in you again. This time, however, you let it go. From your hand, energy springs forth, hitting every member of the cult, pushing them back. The girl looks around, scared, and looks up to the source. The energy comes again, and you fire again. Again, hitting every single one of them, and she runs through a side door. You now face down the cultists, all of you together. You fight as the majority flee. One by one they fall, and you're left in a church, bodies strewn about. You go searching for the girl and you find her hidden in a room. She tells you of monsters in the basement, of horrors, of torture, of darkness, of being scared. You take her away. You hide her at the guild. You return at the night. Still find bodies there. Following her words, you find a teleporter in the side room. Taking it, you find yourself back down in the dungeon. The image shifts to later on. You're returning. You report what you found to the guild, about the horrors that were down there. The guildmaster, horrified about what he hears, immediately calls on other guild members to go to the church and to stop any others from entering there. The girl clings to you, and the image fades again. The image comes back yet again. This time, more time has passed. Briefly catch a reflection of yourself in the mirror. You seem older. Maybe a year or two have passed. You're talking to someone. As you turn to them, the little tiefling girl walks into your room. She's smiling, she's happy. She gives you a hug, and then offers you a drawing, saying she drew it for you. You thank her, you hug her back, and she calls you father. The image fades. Quicker this time, more images appear, little moments. Little moments that you spend with her. Giving her a piggyback, shopping with her, smiling, laughing. Steadily, step by step, you both grow older. The last image fades. She seems to be in her 20s. She's with you in one of the spires. You're both just taking down a large beast. She smiles up to you looking for approval, and you smile back. You hug her and congratulate her. And as you hold her, the image fades. And the room around you comes back into focus. A little glyph, a little glimpse of what could have been.
That was not Crun.
Ah, Flinty boy. Enjoy my gift. And with that, he steps back into the corner of the room and he fades, melding into the shadow of the corner, and disappears. The pain drags you back under, and you fall asleep.
3, 1.
You now have the message cantrip. And once per long rest. See, what exactly is this? When you are hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to channel the spirits, letting voices howl through you. If the attacker isn't deafened, you add your proficiency bonus to your AC against an attack. You regain the use at the end of the long rest.
Hmm.
Be careful about rolling that ones.
Is there any way I can add that? Because at the moment it won't let me add.
You have to add it as a custom thing later.
Okay.
The night passes. I'd say Finian is going to be the first to wake up, given he doesn't sleep as long. When he does so, he immediately goes straight to Nargrax and starts pushing on him.
Oh, yes, Finian. What
Nargrax.
is it? Yes.
Something's wrong with Flint.
What's wrong with Flint, Finian?
Finian simply runs over to Flint's side.
Nargrax will follow.
You go over, you see Flint in bed. He's on his back, one arm above his head, one lower. And his chest, the clothing seems to have burnt away. And there is now a brand on his chest.
Nargrax, seeing this, will go to Flint. Flint, wake up! Are you okay?
Does it wake me?
It does, yeah.
Alright. It's like, oh. Such vivid dreams.
Flint, what on earth has happened to you? Where did you get that brand?
Oh. A demon must have visited in the night again. Show me what could have been if we saved the girl.
Nargrax is currently lost for words and looks absolutely horrified by this.
I'll just give you a little visual for the brand, sorry.
Okay.
I'm just going to hold that up there. You can see it.
The stickman praising the sun.
Okay. Doom, with Nargrax seeing this brand, can you roll religion to see whether he recognizes it now he's got something visible to kind of...
Yeah, go ahead.
Going to give guidance on this as well, so be an extra
Sure.
D4. Really starting strong. With a 10.
Okay, with a 10. It seems to be something regarding a soul. It's about as much as you can glean.
Right. Nargrax will inspect and then say to Flint, it seems to be something regarding a soul.
Just like tracing my fingers over it. Mine or somebody else's.
I don't know. Listen, I was going to go to the library today anyway. Maybe I could find something while I'm there. In fact, Nargrax reaches for some... Is there any parchment and ink on the desk in our room? Doom?
Flint will have a load anyway.
Yeah, in that case he'll say, Flint, could I please have some of your parchment and ink? I need to make I need to draw this glyph, present it to some people. I need to find out what this is. We don't have much time left on the looks of it. Whatever this
Like
thing
this?
is, it seems to be getting worse.
I just hand it over to him.
Okay, Nargrax will take the piece of paper and he's actually going to leave the room. In fact, what time is it? Doom?
It's early morning.
Okay, Nargrax is just going to burst out the room and just go downstairs at a hurried pace. I don't know if any of you guys want to do anything before going back to him.
I would like to change my shirt and just get dressed.
I assume you have more clothes?
Do I?
What's on your equipment?
Probably not then.
You've all been living like scruffy beggars.
Yeah, pretty much. Does it surprise you though?
No.
No, apparently I'm not even wearing clothes, so
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You've been nude the entire
Yeah.
time. Okay, yeah.
yeah. And no one pointed this out.
It's like the Emperor
Yeah,
has no clothes.
Okay, then I'll put on my Hat of Illusion to make it look like I'm wearing actual clothes. Oh, yeah.
You're gonna burn one of those 2-a-day slots just to cover your modesty. I mean, most guys just use a plan, but
I don't want to put Symeon to shame. Don't want to make him jealous.
Finian at this point will also wake Symeon up, given he's the only one
Yeah.
that wasn't up.
Yep.
Oh,
Sorry, morning.
why the sudden wake? Did I sleep in?
Flint's had an incident in the night.
You woke me for this? Time to change the sheets. I'll just turn over.
Finian shrugs and walks away. Okay then, so Nargrax, you've already left, have you?
Nargrax is actually going to go to the front desk to see if Cerna or if any of the other staff are around, yeah?
I'll say when you get down there, Cerna's kind of there, kind of in a half doze.
Just sleep at a desk.
Yeah, Nargrax, he won't say it abruptly, but he just goes, Cerna, are you awake?
Quickly sip some coffee. Yes. How can I help?
Sorry to wake you so early. Listen, do you happen to know if the library is open yet?
What time would it be? She kind of just peers out the door, looking where the sun is. Yeah, it should be open around about now. Rough estimates is about 8 to 9 a.m.
Okay, thank you, Cerna. I just need to go and read up on a couple of things. Once again, very helpful. Thank you. I'll speak to you later.
Oh, Grant, what about breakfast?
Nargrax is just going to leave.
A second breakfast. Sorry, it was a soft pitch. I had.
Okay then. Once you leave, roll perception as you leave.
Okay, one moment. Let's sake. Okay, 9. I'm probably not going to see anything.
No, you actually see the guildmaster down the street, briefly. He's in the opposite direction from what you need to head.
Is he walking back towards the guild?
Yes, he is.
How far away is he? Is he far enough that it's going to take significant amount of time, or is he literally just down the street?
Down the street.
I think Nargrax would probably just wait by the door of the guild for him. And just kind of like step back inside, just wait for him to approach.
I would probably see what the rush is with Nargrax. Come outside.
He approaches down the street quite slowly. He looks a bit haggard, quite tired. But as he gets close, he kind of looks up at you and he kind of gives a weary smile. Ah, excellent. I need to speak to you all.
Yes. Does it have to be... Sorry, I mean no disrespect. Does it have to be right now, or can it wait till later?
Now would probably be better.
Okay, fair enough. It looks like you've been
I'll only take 5 minutes.
quite the ordeal. Yes, please, by all means, lead on.
He leads inside and he stops partway. Would you go and get the other two?
Yes.
Then
yes,
he goes to
of
his
course.
office.
Okay, Nargrax will walk back in and he will address the other two guys. Just to come to the Guildmaster's office.
Is breakfast ready? Hey, that is a no. I'll begrudgingly get up and come downstairs.
Opinion follows. Okay, so do you all go straight to the Guildmaster's office?
Nargrax, oh yeah.
Okay then.
I'll
step
look
behind.
longingly at the bar as I go.
A mug comes flying at you. Make a dex check. Dex save. Make it. You catch a horseman here.
Shoot a finger gun and walk away with
Barkeep does right back. Yeah, you're right, lad.
it.
Right, so you pile into the office, and he's sat behind his desk and quite really weary. He looks up at you. Okay, sorry I was meant to be back last night, but been a bit of an ordeal trying to deal with some of the people in charge of the town. They are not too pleased about you at all.
Can I much?
I believe that one of them came to the guild asking for us.
Yes.
My understanding is that there are actually those within the order who don't exactly condone the practices of the individuals that we saw, but they are aggrieved at our accusations without hard evidence, I assume.
There hasn't been any evidence whatsoever.
Or any evidence, I suppose, for that matter, other than the
The
books that
town
we brought.
guard went to investigate the church. The well you mentioned was just a well. When they reached the bottom, there was just dirt and coin.
I suppose that is to be expected, unfortunately.
Can I
We did.
tell them about the little side portal that I saw in my dream?
What? Wait, what side portal, Flint? We never saw a side
Well,
portal.
A dream I had last night.
Hmm.
I assume that
Specifically in the dream, what you saw was a circular stone pillar, which you used to port in. It was in the side room in a bedroom.
Still in the church?
Yes.
I would like to describe that to the guildmaster.
Okay.
In as much detail as possible so I can make it believable.
Okay. There was something like that. I went with the first guards initially myself, just in case. But that seemed to not actually be active.
Yeah.
If it connected to somewhere, the magic had been severed. The town guard are not happy with the fact that you've had them pull this investigation to begin a lot of heat from the church. The city's council has also been getting a lot of heat from the church, and a lot of the members there are staunch members of the church. They frankly want you arrested. They want to know how you got into the Spire, why you were throwing these accusations.
I'm
at them.
sorry, but I have to interject. Have they not seen the executions in town? Have they not seen people being cut down? Yes, there was no evidence of this particular transgression, but it's been on display for everyone to see. Why are they not doing anything about it? I don't mean any disrespect,
agree
but
with
it's
this.
blatant.
A lot of people have problems with demons. And frankly, they see this as a good thing.
I have a question, Guildmaster.
But yes,
What are we being accused of?
spreading lies against the church.
How? But we have told no one of this.
That there was an investigation and the report that I handed over.
You mentioned us by name?
alone- It mentioned the Hammerhands.
The report was by an eyewitness, Frank.
Frank is
Totally
an expert at the
independent.
moment.
Yeah.
You do realize, of course, that once the demons are wiped out, there will be another persecuted. When we went to the hospital the other day after an unfortunate incident with someone we were escorting, they seemed to be harassing elves for having pointy ears. I know you don't agree, or I hope you don't agree. I suppose I can't assume your beliefs. But you must know that if the town guards don't impose order, whether they agree with it or no, others will be persecuted. They will make excuses, they will make contrivances, but it will never change.
I know. Look, the long and short of it is I'm going to need you guys to disappear for a bit. Just once this blows down, I've been having a word with the town guard, and there's something that you might be able to do for them to get them off your back.
I'm disappointed, but I can't say that this is unexpected. Not your fault, of course.
You're aware of the Sapphire Ones, I trust. One of your earlier tasks here regarding them. One of them made a Hydra appear outside a few days ago.
Oh,
I see.
There's been a shipment of them coming in. Some people have been selling them illegally, and I've managed to arrange it with the town guard that if you can deal with this problem, they're not going to arrest you.
I assume that you argued on our behalf to broker this deal,
Of course.
and I appreciate that. I'm sorry for my outburst. I'm still quite new to the ways of the world. I lived quite a sheltered life before coming to Kron, but if that's what we've got to do to earn a reprieve and to prevent further trouble to yourself, then I accept. Well, I can't speak for my compatriots.
Guildmaster, I feel shame. I had my suspicions of you, and when our information got out, but I can see now that you're a good man, and you're looking out for us, and I'm sorry. I will do what you ask.
It's fine. It's not a good situation, and honestly, it's not an easy one to get a solution to. If there was some concrete proof that we had, this would be a very different scenario.
We regret dragging you into this, but I do
With
not
no
regret what we
witnesses.
have done, and I would do it again.
There definitely weren't any witnesses that you left, were there? No one that could have testified on your behalf.
No.
On our behalf? No.
I've been mulling something over. If you wouldn't mind, I would like to make a proposal.
Go ahead.
Does the guild possess any magic items?
One or two.
Anything that can read thoughts?
No, I'm afraid not. Near enough everything that we have is based around being able to hit things harder, really.
I would assume so. We did
I
see,
perk up at that.
we saw, we witnessed, how can I put this? We know of the man who murdered the Tiefling child, and we know that the church has questions. If we were able to procure an item that would allow for us to read the mind of this individual. They actually committed the act. They took the knife and they slit the girl's throat. They had Valen at their side, encouraging them. If we could get our hands on that individual and the item, it would be as if they were witnessing the act themselves firsthand.
I have to think to see if there's anything like that. Unless you already know something.
I have an idea, yes. But I could probably do with... I'm not sure how much such a thing would cost. I would probably have to go looking for it.
Very well. Alright. Well, I've managed to glean some information on the ones that might be useful to you. They seem to be getting sold from a small tavern. There's someone there that seems to be selling them. The Hobgoblin's Hyenas.
Okay. Unusual name?
I don't name these things. He's normally there late at night, the seller, from what I've heard. There's also, to the East Road, there's been ambushes recently. We believe it's by the same group, though we're not certain. Either of those could be potential leads you could follow. But they both only seem to be operating at night. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Do you have any way to get us out of the guild without being seen? Can't exactly walk out of the front door these days.
I'd say I'd teleport you, but my highest spells have all been used up. It's why I walk back. Could simply go through the back alley, I suppose.
Don't worry. I can be as quiet and swift as a cat when need be. Get up and loudly clank my armor.
Yes. If you don't mind, I need to rest my eyes for a bit.
Of course. Thank you for not raking us over the coals.
What you did was the right thing. It's just a shame it ended up the way it did.
Thank you, sir.
Alright.
I'll get up to leave.
You're good lads. You can see his eyes drooping as you leave.
Nargrax will stop at the doorway, by the way.
Okay.
And he'll just say, I'm sorry for raising my voice. I know it's not your fault.
It's fine, lad. Don't worry. It's trying time.
I'll lean over to Flint like, that was his raised voice?
Okay, and with that, Nargrax will leave.
Okay then. So, you now know that there's potential avenues that you can take late at night, but it's currently early morning. So, what do you all do?
So are we not allowed to leave the guild at all now? Unless it's on this mission?
Hey, you can already leave the guild.
I've been musing over what I read in Belen's book about the flesh columns. I believe I can use it to create something of my own, but I need a few supplies from town.
Are you sure you want to do anything with that wretched tome, Flint? Are you sure that you could even control such a thing?
I'm certain. It's not of flesh or of anything like that. It just gave me a moment of inspiration. Call it.
So you were simply using principles in the book. I see. I see. Sorry, I can barely think straight at the moment. Yes, if listen, I'm going to go to the library as I was going to do before. I'm sorry. I just need some time to think.
Okay. And Symeon, what will you be doing?
These people have them think in the strangest ways. It's too complex for me. But Nargrax, I shall accompany you. Best not to travel alone, at least.
Nargrax will say, before we depart, I'll just be a moment. Nargrax is going to go into the guild bathroom.
Okey-dokey.
Is anybody in there at the moment?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to say that at last night, Nargrax will have attuned to his the hat of disguise he got last time, and he is going to use it. He's going to use it to take the form of a burly bald human.
Fair enough.
Okay. And he will walk back out of the bathroom and just tap Symeon on the shoulder as he passes to let him know that it's him.
Oh, well met, friend. Help you?
It's me, Symeon. Let's go.
I don't know you. What's your name, friend?
Whispers in to see what's him. It's
You come to a
Nargrax.
random you come to me as dressed as a random person and go, "It's me."
I assume that my voice would still be the same.
Oh,
Actually,
are we going
that's
like
actually a point.
second
Does
Harry
that-
Potter movie Polyjuice or
That's
like?
actually a point. Does this change your voice, Doom, or does it just change your appearance?
It changes the appearance.
Yeah, I assume that my voice would be the same, so that's why I did that.
It's me.
Nargrax goes, it's me, Symeon. Sorry, my throat was dry.
Let's have a drink together, friend.
Whispers in
It's
his
got
ear.
common intelligence.
It's Nargrax. You dunderhead.
Oh! I didn't notice the hat. Oh, my apologies. Why are you dressed? Why? You know,
They
I've
seem-
had enough things
Elder
question me
seems to
for
have
one
taken
day.
a specific interest in me. It'd probably be best if I didn't look like me. We should probably keep distance from one another. I'll leave the guild first. You follow about a minute after.
Okey-dokey.
I'll think for a moment. I'll consider asking Flint for his hat. No.
You'd have to be attuned to you, so that would take about 15-20 minutes, I think.
No. I won't hide my face. I will
I
not.
kind of need this hat at the moment.
I never mentioned it out loud. I'm just
Fair
in,
enough.
In a monologue and then muttering to myself. No. Must go out, head held high. Yes. I'll keep. Walk me down.
Aye, lad. Walk me down it is. Frojo, walk me down.
Does he even ask you for money at this point?
No.
Okay. I'll give him another finger gun and walk out.
Okey-dokey.
I guess it's
Yeah.
us then, Finian.
Yeah. So, did you want to go shopping?
Yes, do you remember that lovely dwarven gem trader?
Vaguely, yeah.
Picked up a few gems I'd like to trade.
Oh, then there we go.
I've just remembered that I put the Cloak of Elvenkind in my inventory. I'm going to wear that. I don't think I have to. Oh no, it requires attunement. Fucking never mind. I didn't
What's
see
the
that.
means of attunements?
How do I see that? It just says requires attunement.
I could say that you spent the time previously doing it during the night. If it doesn't have any particular attunement conditions.
Ooh, I don't think so. It doesn't
It
say.
says like it needs an artificer or a druid to attune it. It says so.
Oh, it just says wondrous item, uncommon, requires attunement. Doesn't say anything class specific.
Just say you took care of it last night.
Oh, okay, cool. So now I have perception checks against me have disadvantage. And I have the hood up, which I will put the hood up.
Okie dokie.
And I have advantage on stealth checks. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Which means it's just regular for me then, I suppose.
Flint, you make your way to the gem trader.
I'd greet him in Dwarvish. Hello, my friend.
Ah, hello, lad. How you doing again?
I'm good, good. I came across some stuff in the Spire I was hoping you would be interested in.
Go on, let's have a look at it.
So let me bring that.
He will offer you the value of the gems for what they're worth.
Right, I've got a tiger's eye. And actually, just realizing something. Do you use Macalite for anything? Malachite?
Mostly for ornamentation.
Would you be willing to buy some off me? I've got 5 pieces of ore.
Sure, why not?
Yep. So that's 1 tiger eye and 5 malachite.
Okay. He gives you the value of each of them.
60 gold.
Mhm.
Also, I'm after a lockbox.
What type of lockbox are you after?
Something on the slightly fancy side, round about 400 gold, I'd say. Just to store my valuables and spellbook, wave it in and whatnot.
Let me see what I got. He just ruffles behind the counter and then goes behind the desk and he pulls up several lot boxes. A silver one, a bronze one, and a couple of golden ones with jewels. This is about what I've got. The golden ones can lock magically. The other ones need physical locks.
So the lockbox is a requirement for my spell there, Doom. Would any of them fill that requirement?
Does it specify the type of lockbox other than value?
I don't think it does. I'll just double check. A metal lockbox worth at least 400 GP.
They're all metal, so.
Right.
This bronze one here, that's going to be worth 200 gold.
Right.
It's somewhat sturdy. The silver one, on the other hand, that's going to be worth 410. The golden with the jewels, you're going to be looking at about 1,000 for them.
Oof. The jeweled ones are a bit out of my price range. I'll go with the silver one.
Yeah, sure thing. He hands it over to you, waiting for the coin.
410, did you say?
410.
I'd like to remove that.
Yep. Yes, we take the gold off you.
Yep.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Thank you.
I hope you keep all your valuables safe.
Yes, so do I. I smile back at him. Then I'd like to
smiles back
leave.
at you. Okay. As you leave, Finian will speak up. Is there anything else?
No, that's everything. I guess we should see what Nargrax and Symeon are up to. I imagine he loves it in the library, Symeon.
Yes. Probably be right at home.
Everett.
Okay. I'll switch over to Nargrax. You make your way through the streets generally, and no one really pays you much attention. It's early, so there aren't so many people out, but you do generally still get the same kind of sense from everything around you of people are watching crowds. You don't really see any tieflings out at all.
Okay.
You make your way through the rounding streets, and eventually you come to a large grand building with ornate stone pillars outside of it. There's a large kind of staircase leading up to it. As you go up it, you get greeted by a woman wearing spectacles, a human. Oh, good evening. Well, good morning, I should say. Sorry, I've been there all night. She puts her behind her.
We've all had days like that, not to worry.
An all day in a library? Not I.
I'm a librarian. I work here. I like
You're forced here. Of course. Makes sense now, yes.
I suppose in a way. I do need coin. How could I help you? Anything you need, I can help you with before I leave.
I'm just wanting to go inside. I have to admit, I come from a small town up north. Just want to kind of get a better idea. It seems very restless in Quan lately. I would like to learn a little bit more about the town's history.
Oh, certainly. If you just want to come this way, she leads you up the stairs and in through the main doors. You enter into a large open area. There's a spiral staircase in front of you that leads up to a second floor. And there are basically shelves full of books surrounding you. There are aisles that disappear and twist around corners. Just books everywhere. Generally, the place is lit by what seems to be some sort of little glow lamps. There's no fire hazard potentially.
Smart.
A lot of
Now,
dry ass parchment and candles around, yeah, that's what.
so you would like history? She starts leading you over towards the right wing. You see quite a lot of books. None of them actually really look all that old, to be honest. Maybe a few decades at most. Just right here will be the history section for the town and the surrounding area generally.
Nargrax actually comment, would that be apparent to him that these books are...
I'd say it'd be kind of obvious, really, to be honest.
Okay, so you will say, considering that these are history books, I expected them to look older. These all look to be recently printed.
Kron is only about 40 years old.
To be honest, while I'm here, I'd like to learn more about Neros as well, and the secrets they may have.
Fucking, can we just stop and get a round of applause for that?
Accepting.
That was fucking good.
If you are wanting a general history, just across the corridor over there would be most books on the continent as a whole. As well as all various religions and so on and so forth.
Yes, I'll probably spend some time in that section. Thank you very much for your help. I appreciate your assistance.
You're most welcome. I should probably go and get 2 hours of sleep. Got another long day ahead of me. And she wandered off.
Okay, and with that, Nargrax will approach the section that she mentioned.
Okie dokie. I assume you mean the general larger history section?
like the general history of the world.
Okay, the books in this section definitely do look a lot older. Some of them quite worn. Some of them look semi-new. So, what do you generally do whilst you're there? What are you looking for?
I think Nargrax is going to start to see maybe the conflicts that have been occurring in Neros, maybe over the last like wars and just unrest. He's basically trying to see whether what's happening now has repeated before or whether there may have been any precedent for it.
Roll in investigation. I say give it with advantage as well, given you went into the right section.
And I think I'm going to do guidance for this one because this is quite What's it? Investigation, did you say?
Yes.
Oh, God's sake. Well, yeah, I'm not rolling well tonight. Right, so 12 on.
Okay, with 12, I'm going to say you find a book that catches your eye in particular. It seems to be some sort of chronological epic of the history of the continent.
Okay.
As you flick through the book, it tells of great wars between gods and demons, which shaped the land around about 300 years ago. And from then, the Spires began to emerge. There was a lot of unrest before the founding of the guilds, and once the guilds were founded, conflict began over control of the Spires.
Okay.
There's no real history of specifically targeting a race, but you can't really find out any other info from before the 300 years mark.
Okay. So, Nargrax reading through this, are there any books pertaining to the origin of the Spires specifically?
Say roll another investigation to see if you can find something regarding that.
Am I in the right section for it?
You would be given this general history of the continent.
So, yeah, just a regular investigation this time, I take it.
Well, I'll give you advantage again.
Hey,
Wow, dude, you're feeling nice today.
For now.
40.
You find various different books that all detail theories of where the Spires come from and what causes them. For the most part, they've always seemed to just appear randomly without warning, and they will steadily start to grow over time. More floors growing on top of what already exists. One of the oldest spires is in Faln.
Okay.
It's in the center of a lake from what was once said to have been a great city.
So what specifically are the theories? Because you've described like how they appear, but not why they might appear.
Some theorize that it's good judgment of the gods testing the people of the land. Others believe that it might be the world trying to retain or regain the natural order of rebirthing creatures that used to be common and giving them a means to re-enter the world.
Okay.
They're generally the two main prevailing theories that seem to recur.
So divine providence, and what was the other one?
The planet itself, effectively trying to rebalance the natural order.
Okay. I think.
God,
next...
is it going to make weapon? No.
So,
Want to fight diamond weapon?
I think Nargrax then reading that is going to perhaps want to read a little bit more regarding, like maybe, like if there isn't anything concrete, like the origins of what started this great conflict between gods and demons, or if or like if anything happened very recently, like maybe in the last 50 years or so, to kind of like really, yeah, just that first actually.
Roll investigation again. Just flat investigation this time.
By investigation, fair enough. I can't move for toffee tonight, Jesus.
What?
You don't really find anything that can predate the 300-year mark.
Okay, in that
You
case,
find various whispers of cities that you don't know in various texts, but that's about it.
did you say that this was also the section for religion?
I did not.
I thought you mentioned religion actually.
Oh no, I did. Sorry, I did. Yes, that point. Okay, yeah. So you'll be able to find stuff regarding gods, etc. here.
Okay. So I think, considering that was a bit of a dead end for Nargrax, he would now like to see if he can find anything on the origins of the cult of Eldef and any correlation between that and Lilera, the goddess of joy, other than the fact that the gods are siblings, like if there are sort of like any crossovers with the faiths and any
Roll of
animosities.
advantage.
Yeah. Can I just roll double figures, please?
Why you want to roll
Okay,
double
you have one
figures?
more roll. Screw it.
This is ridiculous. Tonight,
It's because Flint's not there, you see.
possibly. No.
Wow.
Oh my
You
god.
know what? Can I just roll a regular d20 just to see if it's
Yeah,
any
sure,
difference?
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But we're going with that.
I'm gonna roll regular d20s. This is getting stupid.
Okay. Right, remind me what you're rolling for again.
So basically, origins of the cult of Eldaf, anything concerning like the relationship between Lyra and
Okay.
Eldaf, like basically more their congregations than the goddesses themselves.
Okay, so in particular for the cult of Eldaf, generally the Church of Eldaf has been prominent for quite some time. You find it dating all the way back to the war at the 300-year mark. Same can be said for Lilandra, or the Church of Lilandra. There is mentions of that back then, but that quickly began to drop off at about 50 years past the 300-year mark.
Okay.
And generally, it seems that whenever that comes back up, it seems to be mentioned as being just a small church that basically submits to the cardinal pleasures now. Whereas
So,
once it was a church of spring, of joy, of festivals, it's
is
over
that,
time devolved.
so at what point did that happen? Does it say like precisely when that changed? Like 50 years after the 300 mark?
About 50 years after 300 mark, the Church of Lilandra stopped being prominent. It started to become obscure.
Are there any
and then-
citations? Oh, sorry, go on.
Then over the years, it simply became what it is now, effectively.
Are there any citations in that book to like relate to back to maybe a specific incident that caused that?
Yes, you see the mention of basically prayers going unanswered. You see this to be a common theme as well amongst many religions.
So not
It seemed as if
specific to this.
the gods took a step back.
Did this also include Eldaf?
No.
So every religion at around that time, except for Eldaf, took a step
Around
back.
that time, it also seemed that Eldaf did, but Eldaf began to regain some of its prominence. I'd say that would have been around the century mark. So about a century after the 300-year mark war.
Is there anything pertaining to the fundamental beliefs of Eldaf and whether, like the beliefs that we're seeing now, are perhaps more their core beliefs, or is it, as the priest said, that they don't approve of tieflings, but they would use non-aggressive means to try and cleanse them?
For the most part, the teachings are always focused on preserving the peace of the world, be it through defense, through attacking an oppressive force, through unifying the races, and through expelling demonic elements from the world.
But not really much in the way of an elaboration of how that may be achieved, so that's quite open
Nope.
to interpretation.
Indeed.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's yeah.
The only real links that you ever see between Eldaf and Lilandra are the facts that they were sisters.
Okay.
There are various tales about them and their exploits as gods, effectively. They kind of go into the realm of old biblical tales, effectively, of there being a moral to a story and what sometimes one being right, sometimes the other being right. But they're very much, again, open to interpretation with a lot of their tales.
So when it's like one would be right and the other would be right, is it that they were always, did they have like diametrically opposing views, or was it just like just very slight differences in philosophy?
It'd normally be very slight differences in philosophy. Of sometimes, for instance, Eldaf would be much more of a lawful person than Lilandra would. Lilandra.
Whatever you
So-
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically Eldaf was more lawful.
Yes.
Leandro, whatever she's called, was more chaotic.
Yes.
Do I see... Actually, when Leo's been speaking to Nargrax, do the books actually match her description and like her personality?
Generally, the books describe her as being someone that's much more full of joy, and her skin glows with an ethereal white. When you've seen her, she seems a lot more drained, and the glow from her skin is heavily diminished. From based on what you've been able to read from the description.
Okay. Do you want to go to someone else who might probably still have a few more questions? And I know that I've been speaking for about 10 minutes now.
I'd say that at this point, Flint has got here, and either you two want to do anything?
The whole time I've been doing that very uninterested thing in a library where I'll just pick up a random book off a shelf, flick through it, and go, just go to another random shelf, pick up a random book.
Roll a d20.
Oh, for a book about history, that doesn't. Where's the tale of the heroes? The grand adventure.
You pick a random book off a shelf, and it's actually a tale of great heroes.
Oh, this is more like it. Yes.
It even has pictures illustrating the various appearances.
Oh. A glorious individual.
Yeah.
Sparking remarkable about Zenless, don't you think, Nargrax? And Nargrax doesn't even fucking look up.
He's probably quite, engrossed in what
There's
he's
one tale about a dwarf who fought actually just using his beard. His beard was so strong that if he hit someone with it, it could outright break their jaws.
But that's fucking metal.
So,
Why?
Elfbeard.
Yeah.
If I could get my beard to be
Like,
a tool of the
what?
arsenal.
So I walk in the library, sniff the air, it's like, that takes me back. And I look around for Nargrax and Symeon.
You see Symeon sort of like trying to mold his beard into something, into a sword.
I hear the strength of facial hair is quite strong. It might not be a bad idea there, Symeon.
Oh, just reading a book.
Where's Nargrax?
I'll go back to my book.
Fair enough. You very easily see him. He's got basically surrounded by a pile of books that he's just piled up on the floor as he's been reading and flicking through them.
Nerd.
I just squat down next to him. It's like, they have tables where you can read these.
Oh, sorry, Flint. Oh, I probably shouldn't speak so loud in here. I've got to be honest.
Why?
A lot of this is very interesting. Well, I mean, people are reading. I assume that it's polite to be quiet.
Just like turn around to Symeon and do the librarian. Shh.
Is it not?
Is Finian here?
And like
Yeah,
point to
he
the
is. He's
side.
just kind of quietly behind.
Just
I
like
turn
point
to
to the side.
Finian like, what?
It's impolite, Symeon.
I just like point to the sign that says every library has that says quiet.
It's in every single language.
Actually, Flint, it's good that you're here. I was just about to have a look to see if there are any books that showed that brand of yours. I don't want to say too loud.
Oh.
There seems to be quite a lot of conflicts between gods and demons about 300 years ago, too?
Yes.
About 300 years ago. Just kind of want to get a better idea of what's going on here and why people are just so quick to agree with what's happening in the streets. It just seems like madness out there.
I think we are essentially fighting God, right? Maybe this demon's intentions are good. I say that with a bit of trepidation, like I don't really believe it.
I suppose that remains to be seen.
Hmm.
That Nargrax is going to go back to his box.
Like, I'll stand up and look around, see if I can see if anything on demons. Like,
Are you both going to be searching for them?
So yeah.
I think
both
Nargrax
roll
is
with
still
advantage.
reading this.
Oh, sorry.
Both roll with advantage.
Both roll with advantage. Okay.
I'll look to see if there's any books about Dungeons and Dragons.
Roll d20.
A dungeon and a dragon, not together. That'd be madness. Yeah. just gonna...
22
You find
my
a book
highest.
that seems to be something to do with dungeons and dragonkin,
Wow, I
and there are
actually got a
wits.
nat 20.
Player's Handbook. Doesn't seem interesting.
So damn, those were good rules. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you both managed to find books on demonology,
Yes.
and Nargrax in particular, you are leafing through and you suddenly stop at a page that shows the exact same brand. It's a soul
Nargrax's
binding
eyes-
ritual.
Yeah, it's a binding ritual. Nargrax will immediately rush over to Flint and show him this page. Okay, what else does it say?
Yeah, I'd like to read the page.
Basically, it's a symbol for someone who's had a soul bound to their own. Once it is bound
does it
like
say-
this, it is inseparable unless the thing that bound them is destroyed.
Is there any information to say if there's like anything distinct, like the brands take the same shape, but are there any like, I don't know, additional embellishments on the brand to demonstrate like what the nature of the soul might be? You know, like you can see like rings on a tree to determine how old it is, anything like that.
There is nothing specific. It goes into detail that it can be used to bind any lost soul to you, providing someone is able to contain the soul somehow. It can be recently passed, or it can be up to a century past for that particular soul to be bound.
Okay, I think Nargrax in particular would like to see whether this is something that's been like this ritual is being commonly used or was perhaps used around 250 years ago.
There's no real mention of it ever really being used. It's just something that you've ultimately found. It's not really a history textbook per se. It's more of a examples of demonology book of potential rituals that a demon has inflicted on others in the past.
Is there anything about perhaps the first recorded, like, incident of this?
No dates at all.
Okay.
The book does look fairly old though, actually.
Okay.
Can I look in the books to actually try and find out what demon might be haunting me? Its name or something?
As you look through the book, you can't find any particular name. It seems to be a symbol that has been shared between various demons. The brand itself seems to be specific to this spell that was used, or this method.
Hmm. So there's no separate books that I can look in that might have a picture or at least tell me the name of the demon?
No. I'd say that
Oh.
generally from collected searching from the rules, you can't find any names. As a whole, when you've been looking through these types of books, you haven't really found any names of any demons.
No, because I found it strange there aren't any names of any demons in these books.
Yes, that is odd. I can't really say, well, in some ways I'm glad I don't know too much about demons. In fact, I would like to look for something else. With that, I think Nargrax is going to see, like, looking more into this type of magic when two souls are bound, like whether it's possible to, like, if there's like any spells or any, I don't know, rituals or devices that would be able to help us detect, like, where the other soul might be in this ritual.
Do you not
What
have
do
a
you mean, where
spell
the
that
soul
allows you
might
to
be?
do that?
What was that, sorry?
How do you mean how the other soul might be?
Well, you said that it's bound to another soul, so is the soul actually now bound inside of Flint, or is the source of it residing elsewhere outside of him?
It is now bound into him.
So it's in him, okay.
Let's say you got that from the previous rolls.
Fair enough.
Nargrax, don't you have some sort of divination spell that lets you identify things like this?
Nothing that I can use at this present moment. I mean, speaking to gods, perhaps. Not that they always, well, speak in ways that I can understand, but something so
Lucy-
specific, I'm not so sure.
It's like, at least you get a response, I say, as I close my book pretty heavily.
Yeah, there's one thing I've learned about the gods, Flint, is that they are there, but they are really straightforward. I do concede that point.
It's like, let's just actually remember something. It's like, oh, I set out to buy new clothes and totally forgot. The excitement of coming back to a place like this, it's been a while.
Yeah, Flint, as you look around, you briefly see a small figure around a corner
Nope.
of one of the aisles that disappears.
Do I recognise this figure?
I'm going to say it was cast in shadow, so you couldn't make out any details.
Oof. Could I tell that it was, if he was like observing me or just passing by?
It moved too quickly for you to be able to tell. You noticed it too
Yeah.
late. I'm going to say
Mm.
outright.
I would assume it's just another person then. So, fellow must be in a rush to find a book. Is the librarian gone for her nap still?
Yeah.
Symeon, you've explored this town more than me. Have you come across any clothing stores?
Oh, yeah, most vendors sell clothes.
Ian, that trick you do with your arms, you think you could do that? Teach me to do that? With that spectral beard?
I can try.
Book, it's fascinating. Dwarf. Walk me a iron beard if I read it right. Amazing, man.
Yes. He is pretty strong.
Yes.
You can say that he
Mine
can
to
walk
aspire
straight
to
through
be.
walls, as long as his beard went first.
What a man.
Oh, I've heard stories of this. They say he was bitten by a cobra, and a few days later, the cobra died.
Oh, yes.
You okay,
That's
Symeon?
really got him.
I've got nothing. I've got nothing. Improv has failed me.
Library's a fun place, apparently.
So, oh yes, Nargrax, don't you know? Have you not enjoyed reading up on lore and history?
Nargrax is going to look into one more thing before he goes.
Okay.
Actually, two more things. He wants to look to see around that 250 years ago mark, whether there was any like cataclysmic events, like economically, socially, like anything that would have that could potentially drastically change the mindset of a large group of people.
Around about that mark, most of the continent seems to be generally recovering from basically the Great War that was fought. Towns began to build up, and in turn, cities started to get rebuilt. You can generally tell that from the great fights that happened, the majority of the commerce that previously existed was completely destroyed.
Are there any maps, though?
Have you roll an investigation again, just see if you find any maps.
Should I assist in that?
Yeah, sure.
Advantage.
Nice.
This is the opposite end of the spectrum, and that's the other opposite end of the spectrum.
So yeah, I'm going to say you managed to find some old maps, and they look or vaguely like the ones that there currently are. Generally, there used to be more offshoots of land away from this continent, and particularly where Fallon was. Right now, there is basically a large. Actually, I'll just pull up the main map for a visual reference. You notice that to the southeast and southwest, there used to be large continents attached to this. Well, basically, kind of attached to it. This central point right here, this used to be all land. And there used to be a mark for a large city right where this spire is, called Detour.
Okay.
There are lots of other cities and towns marked around, and none of them match up to the current maps.
Okay. Is the Shrine of Yaldrin on this map?
No.
Is that because it would be too early?
Yes.
Are there any more recent
From what you can tell from
maps?
this map, it seems to predate the war.
It predates the war. Okay, that's interesting.
As Nargrax is musing over this map, can I prepare a spell too?
Sure, yeah.
Alright then.
Okay. Seeing that the geography of the land doesn't really correspond to the modern day, I think Nargrax would want more recent maps, maybe from the last
No.
100 years.
You already made that.
The more recent maps, for the most part, are pretty much what you see in the continent map.
No,
Spire with Kron is not there on the map, and a couple of the markers for the spires in the northwest are also not there.
The northwest being this large island here.
That's
oh,
not
sorry, the northeast.
northwest over there.
Northwest over there. Yeah.
Basically, 3 of these spires are not there.
Actually, how about this continent over here? Or island, sorry.
That seems to be, and that map also seems to be marked with the spires.
that's
in the
that's
maps
the
that
Spire land.
predated, in the maps that predated, basically there was no markers for spires at all.
So the predated map don't have these here at all?
No, it's just an island which has a series of towns in it.
I see. It's interesting. I think what Nargrax is basically looking for, he's looking for a map with the Shrine of Yaldrin on it, and he wants to see if there are any significant landmarks that are around the location where that where Lileo was luring him to, or like guiding him to, I should say.
I'm going to see that on the map that predates the war. You do see a marker on there. It seems to be marked for a place called. Did I make a note of this or not? I don't think I made a note of the name. It's marked as Terola.
Okay. So in relation to that location, are there any books detailing the history of that place, again around the 250-year mark, of any significant events that may have occurred there?
Roll investigation for see if you can find anything on Terola.
Actually, nope, I'm going to roll it 20 rather than... that probably isn't much better, but yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing I don't find anything.
With advantage.
With advantage. Oh, nice. It's probably going to be lower, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Screw
The
you.
DM really.
I was actually just thinking 7 as well.
Great.
Nat 20.
Thank
Nat
you.
20 next one.
I got a 1 nat 20 for you back to single digits again.
I'm going to say that you managed to find. Actually, do you have modifiers to add to it?
No, to investigation I don't. I only have a
Right,
plus
never
0, which is
mind.
annoying.
Actually, generally looking for information on Terola. You mostly just find scant references to it in various books. It mostly refers to it as being a place to contain things.
Okay.
And there's mention of great guards and of the spires being a thing of beauty.
Okay, very good. Right. So this will honestly be the last book, and I do apologise for asking so many questions. Nargrax would like to look for a book on, like, just seeing Flint messing around with his scrolls lately. He's interested in perhaps making something to help the party. So he's just looking for a book on, like the practices for crafting items, I suppose.
Okie
Just to kind of make it a
Any
bit more
particular
useful.
items?
If you were looking over at me, you'll see me like fiddling with the lockbox I bought and a stone, trying to prepare the spell.
Mostly in terms of utility, probably to help keep the party rejuvenated.
Okay. Roll investigation again with advantage. I'll let you.
Thank you. My rolls are that bad tonight, even you're taking pity on me.
Yes, pity rolls.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Okay.
You find exactly what you're after.
Thanks.
Yeah, right. Pretty sure I know what you're after.
Yeah.
From what you mentioned, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, you find a book that has a fully detailed schematic of exactly how to make the item in question.
Okay.
And in fact, the details are so specific, it seems like it might actually save you a bit of time when you're making it. Be able to knock.
Convenient.
Let me just double check.
Dub-de-dub-de-dub.
Isn't your
At a
cute play that?
PG-13.
You think you'd probably be able to knock off about 20 hours off the construction of this item?
Okay. Is this a book that can be lent out, or is it like is it like an older book that's perhaps just there to be read at the library?
Honestly, you can't tell. You didn't actually ask at any point if these books can be taken out.
I suppose really it's just because for the most part we'll just be reading them here, and there's literally no one else around to ask at the moment.
Indeed.
Given Flint's formal profession, would I be able to tell if this is a learnable book? Like, I know libraries near us have like a little pocket or
I suppose there
something
has to be
on
some
the
sort
page.
of practice for what people should do when.
Roll
Librarians
intelligence
are-
with advantage, Zach.
Intelligence.
Not Flint. Right, yeah.
We are one and the same.
Flint, yes.
25. A 17.
Okay, it seems to work based on borrowing a book by a fee. You put down your details, guild members get a discount, but the books are always expected to be returned or replaced with better books.
Oh.
The fee is a gold piece per book.
Gold
Is
piece,
this,
did you say?
Yes.
is this displayed anywhere for me to show Nargrax?
I'd say, yeah, you managed to wander around and you quickly found this information.
And considering there is a sign for no talking in every language, I should expect that the rules for the library would also be there somewhere.
So I've like pointed out to Nargrax.
Okay, Nargrax will take a note of that, and he'll put down the gold piece to lend out the book.
When you do that, you actually look behind the desk and you see the librarian from before. She's just fast asleep in a chair. Mouth wide open, just snoring slightly.
Maybe we should write her a note saying what you've done, Nargrax.
Just see if I can do
Walk over and loudly say, "Yes, I'd like to buy this book.
Symeon!
This is a great tome of grand adventure. I'd like to procure it."
Right, 1 second.
It doesn't understand how libraries work.
She snaps a finger and a quill appears in her hand. Okay, can I take your name? And I'll take 1 gold, please.
Nargrax
my
will
name
put down
is-
the gold.
Pay for my own book, thank you. Rex,
I
this is
had-
a gold piece.
I had one
Fine.
for myself. I meant to. I didn't mean to insult you, Symeon. I do apologise.
She
None taken.
traces the quill over the paper and your names appear without it actually touching. And she makes notes of the guild that you're in and the time of the books being taken out. Okay, so the rules are Right. So basically, bring the books back when you can. We'll send someone out to come and find you in a couple of weeks if you don't bring them back. It'll be a bit
Bring-
minor fine. Yeah. If you damage or lose the book, I want to keep it, so you got to replace it with something better, basically.
I'll lean into Flint. Bring it back? How do I bring the book back?
Well, you don't really keep these books, Symeon. It's more like a rental. You've heard of Sword for Hires, yes?
Certainly.
You've heard of a sword for hire? Well, this is a book for hire.
Oh, I see. If you do not pay the sword for hire, we return the sword in a less than pleasant manner. Do we do the same with the book?
Symeon, do a perception check. You sense something behind you.
Spidey sense on the back of my neck.
Yep.
Your Symeon tingle.
And I don't suppose by chance behind the counter there's a mirror.
No, there's not.
And I just sort of stiffen a little bit and just look like side-eye behind me.
There seems to be some sort of spectral floating book with a face on it looking at you.
I will whirl around in horror. Oh, whoa, whoa. Throw my sword at it. Get away!
Oh god.
Books are evil! How did we come to this place?
You would do well to return one of my children to me. It just then moves straight towards you and passes through you.
Swing at nothing. Oh!
And you see it then kind of shrinks down and then goes into a book that's beside the librarian.
We might be out of town for a bit. How much of an issue would this cause if we hadn't returned the books by then?
Put down an additional gold. You'll have 4 weeks. You should be back by then, I imagine.
Nargrax will put down an additional gold then in that case.
I'll very gingerly put down an extra gold.
Is there anything else you need before I go back to sleep?
No, nothing from me. Once again, thank you for your help.
No problem, no problem. Hope you tied up after yourselves. With that, she leans back and closes her eyes. You did not tidy up after yourselves.
No.
We did not.
Can Nargrax go and do that, or does he literally have to go?
Up to you.
Nargrax will go back and tidy up after himself.
I'll help.
Considering that's not considering that comment.
I'm eyeing my book very suspiciously after seeing the ghost book.
Roll a d20 with your proficiency bonus.
Is that me?
Yes.
This is going to be my table fable, isn't it? Can't stat books.
Net one, net one, net one, net one.
Let me just
net
see
one.
what my proficiency bonus actually is. It's +3.
3.
Okay, come on, not that one.
Hey,
You managed to put the books back in a relatively quick pace. There's only a couple that you didn't really know where they might go, so you just kind of shoved them somewhere. I seen
I
them
mean, I
already.
said I would help him with that.
Roll with advantage.
Fine. Flint can also roll alongside.
Want my rolling?
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe you should roll that.
D20 with your proficiency bonus, which will be the same, +3.
All right. So 21 with the +3.
Oh, yeah. Everything gets put away quite nicely then, in that case.
Flynn just noticed that like the last 2 books were just the wrong way around, so he just
Yeah, so
takes them. He just
Mm.
it's just like solid 8.5 out of 10 effort.
Flint was a bit more efficient. He was also using a mage hand to. I assume you have
Oh.
mage hand, don't you?
No, I don't have
Oh,
mage
you
hand.
don't? Oh, no, I ignore that then.
I used to be a librarian.
You were just a lot more efficient at doing it.
It's almost like he had a mage hand, that's how fast he was.
Mhm. Okay. So what do you guys do now then?
Right,
I'd
I'd like
say
to.
it's going to be around about. It's gone lunchtime at this stage. You've been there for quite a few hours.
I'd like to purchase some clothes. I believe mine got seared after last night's incident.
So you're easily able to find clothing.
Right.
Just cost for some sets of commoners' clothes. It would just cost you like 5 copper.
Thinking more travellers' clothes that would be comfortable with the adventuring lifestyle we're doing.
Something a bit more durable, a silver.
Alrighty then, I shall fork that over.
Okey-doke.
I can get a spare pair, so 2 silver, yeah.
Oh, is that in case you have another incident in bed? I never told Symeon what happened, by the way. I heard is an incident in bed.
Because you were
Don't know
comatose
it's close.
at the time. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, yes, if that's what we call it, I look at him skeptically.
Listen, it's nothing to be ashamed of. There are many a men that would ruin their clothes. Certain
Might
amount
be.
of
So it wasn't me
PTSD involved.
with my close Symeon, it was something else.
You
I
were
don't, I don't,
I
don't want to
apologize.
say what it. Don't want to say what it is in public.
You were sharing your bed that night. Well, I did not hear a thing. Did anyone else?
We'll explain when you're older. That means we'll explain later, Symeon.
Well, I guess yesterday. Yeah, I would be older. Yes. Yes.
If no one else has anything else to do after I've bought clothes, I will go back to the guild hall.
Nargrax would like to go back to that magic item shop in the... Was it in the trade district, Doom?
Which magic item shop?
The one where you got like the ogre gauntlet.
Okay, okay. That one was magic armor, as I recall.
Yeah,
I think
what I'm looking for maybe here.
Okie dokie. You'll enter into the shop, and the dwarf will be generally sat around, seems to be sharpening one of the blades. Oh, good on you, laddie. You back for some more business?
Potentially. I'd like to inquire about... where is it? It occurred to me recently that... How best to put this? Things have been very tense around here recently, and sometimes when going out after dark, it seems that there's quite a lot of shifty people about. I suppose it's more so for my peace of mind, but I was wondering if you sold any items that could potentially protect the forts of others. I can vaguely remember that there are something like that, but I don't know if that's something that would be sold here.
And I can set forks. Gotta be frank, if I could sell something like that, I probably wouldn't even need a shop at that point.
I don't suppose so, but...
Need to pay a ransom for something like that.
It isn't something that I suppose would be common. It's why I came to the best.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint, but honestly, I don't think I have anything of the sort.
Fair enough.
And the closest thing I really have would probably be a potion that can make someone fall in love with you a little bit.
We could do with a little more love in the world today, couldn't we?
Aye, but I mean, after
Yes,
it wears off, murderous rage and all that.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, you know, just once it wears off, there's a murderous rage, and
Why would you?
and it doesn't go too well unless the person runs away very, very fast.
Why would you sell something like that and tell people up front that's what the side effect is?
Well, if I didn't tell them about that part, I won't have any repeat business.
And how well does it sell?
Surprisingly well, actually.
Huh.
Obviously never been in love, Nargrax, if you've not felt murderous rage directed towards you.
Yeah, but that,
Somehow,
you've never been horny.
despite spending all day in the library,
Yeah.
I feel like I know less about the world than I did when I woke up this morning. But
You did figure out how to turn yourself from blue, so you learned something while you were there, clearly.
Indeed.
You need his disguise still, right, Nargrax?
Yeah, he'll be this guy still.
Hmm.
Well, I'm guessing like this guy would recognize the hat.
He recognises the hat, he
Actually,
recognises the
would he
voice.
recognize the hat? Because
Actually, no, he
it's a
didn't see the
different
hat, no.
It's a different hat, but I do
He
sound.
just recognises your voice.
Yeah, so you probably made the assumption. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might
So
see
you just got. What can I say? I just wanted a palette swap.
Ah, fair enough.
And with that, I think Nargrax is going to leave.
Okie dokie.
And he'll be going back to the guild. I don't know what anyone else wants to do.
And go back to the guild as well.
I want to go find a potion shop.
Yeah, then.
Probably not the one with the two little dickhead gnomes.
Gee.
The sold me silver goop or whatever the fuck.
I mean, technically, you got your money out of it. You avoided a fight.
And it did do what they said it'd do.
No, they're the one that sold me some something to help with the basilisk, and I threw it at it. And it did
Oh
nothing.
yeah, that was the potion vendor near the spire, wasn't it?
I'm gonna say there are no other major potion stores.
Fine, I'll go back to them. I'll remember the store.
So
and
don't just think a meteor fell on them last night. What can you do?
Yeah, you go in, and one of them is just lying on the counter and kind of turns and looks at you. Hi there. How you doing?
oh,
It's okay.
look
Symeon,
around
you can face your
desperately
fears.
for anyone else, but you're not there.
No, I'd say
Roll a
Nargrax is
perception
still
check. You can see another pair of eyes in one of the corners, just kind of in the darkness, just peering out, looking at you. Tee, tee.
Yes, I would like to browse your healing potions, please. Locking eyes with the one in the corner.
We have them. How many would you
Do
like?
they work?
Of course they work. Why would they not work?
Bit of experience with being sold a potion that did not do as advertised.
What potion was that?
Never mind. Let me see your potions, please. Potion seller.
Sure. And he roots around and he comes up with a load of different healing potions. They seem to range from regular to superior.
How much is a superior one?
I was actually looking it up right now.
That's probably gonna be quite expensive. If it's the one I think it is, anyway.
No, we've also got supreme.
Oh, it might be Supreme I'm thinking of.
Does that like come with whipped cream and a cherry on top?
No, but it
Yes.
heals a load of health.
Healing potion is 50 gold pieces, a greater is 200, a superior is 2000.
Oh.
Supreme is 20,000.
Oh,
That's
is
like-
that all?
Oh, man, I could have sold that in the other group. Oh, that money's really useful.
So we have potions here. Would you like some?
Can we tell if they're legit potions?
Roll Arcana.
Hmm. 16.
Say again, sorry. What'd you get?
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. 16. Okay. As you're generally looking at them, it seems the superior might be a dud, but the others seem genuine.
What is this? Ketchup? I say pointing to the superior.
No, that's healing potion.
Hmm.
It's old.
Yeah,
Can I,
I'd avoid the
can I
soup.
uncork it and smell it?
As you try
smells-
to, he raises a hand and you see electricity. Don't touch. And did you buy?
This is so mean.
Hee.
Did you say he has that it's just regular ones and then a superior? No greater.
He has some greater. Some regular, some greater.
I wouldn't go with the superior Symeon. Like I said, it looks like tomato sauce.
Symeon, roll perception. Okie dokie. So what are you guys doing?
I think Nargrax is just stood with the others. He isn't particularly interested in anything right now.
I'm more worried why you had Symeon roll perception.
Just
Metagaming.
Just a DM thing. I'll buy a couple of great healing potions.
Okie dokie. Well, exchange gold value for them. And the gnome will hand them over. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your comments. Hee. Can you interest you in anything else?
Hmm.
We have mystery potions.
What potions?
Mystery.
History, you say?
Yes.
Hmm. I think I've had enough mystery for today. Thank you. I'll hand over the gold.
Okay,
Was that 200 each?
Yes. Okay. You hand
Can I
over
be
the
a
gold.
dick and pay in silver? Actually, no, I
Excellent.
can't. I don't have enough silver for both.
You literally go down to the bank, exchange everything for coppers, and you pay out 1 copper at
Yeah.
a time.
Gnomes probably love that, to be honest.
Just get borrow the hat of disguise and just disguise yourself as a genetic. Oh, just give me a minute.
Mickey Mouse, hello?
Uh-huh.
I'm done.
Okay. Do you leave?
I think we're old enough after that impression from Bug.
Right, as you turn to leave, Symeon, make a dex save with disadvantage.
No. Is this an effect targeting only me? Oh, no, fuck it. My shield's not out anyway. I can't add +2 to that.
Disadvantage?
Oh, sorry, disadvantage.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. As you turn to leave, you suddenly trip over and you fall straight into your face. Your shoelaces have been tied. Well, your bootlaces have been tied together.
God, you.
As you kind of try to turn around to get up, you see in the rafters above you there's loads of gnomes just looking down at you, smiling and laughing. Tee, tee, tee.
Oh, God, I thought there were 2. I'm never coming in this store again. I'm gonna hurry out. Hey, gnomes.
Tee, tee.
I find them no problem.
You hear echoes. Tee, 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 tee.
I get
I'll
it.
slap Flint for that.
God damn it. I deserve that.
Okay. And you guys make your way back to the guild hall.
Yes.
Yeah, Nargrax is going to go back to Guildhall. He's probably going to meditate for a while.
Okay.
I'll change clothes, take off my hard disguise.
Actually, actually no. Yeah, he'll just meditate.
Generally, you know that you only need to wait until much later on in the night before you actually be able to be active, so you effectively have free time until then. So I'm going to say you have about, let's say, I'll say you got 8 hours of free time to do something with.
Work on a scroll.
And yeah, Nargrax might as well make some headway working on that item.
Okie dokie.
Can I request a training dummy art back that's a little small, like a gnome?
Reginald will happily provide one for you.
I beat the shit out of that training dummy.
No question of why he just has it to hand.
Next time,
Got slight tears in my eyes. Stupid gnomes. Stupid.
the next attack against a small creature has advantage.
Yeah. I'm gonna face another small creature for the rest of this campaign. Am I doing?
Probably not.
8 hours, did you say?
Yes, 8 hours.
Actually, before this, I'm gonna hand my glass sword off to Flint and just be like, surprise me. I can't think of what I want to put on that fucking thing.
Well, what kind of damage would you like to do?
Whatever hurts the most. I'm not well versed in magic. I prefer to let my weapons do the damage.
Actually, just working out what the most damaging spells are.
Chromatic Orb, if you have it, maybe.
What was that, sorry?
Chromatic Orb.
Yeah, probably. Actually,
Fill it with 4 4th level magic missiles.
I cannot.
Pepper it with magic. Oh, is there a limit on spells?
You can't upcast a spell. It's got to be the base spell.
Yep.
Oh, gotcha.
Anyway,
4 charges.
I think it was only up to 3rd level as well, anyway.
Second.
Oh, the second. Alright, second. Sorry.
So you can't load it with fireballs.
No.
Dude, if you did, you would be in the range.
It's like-
Actually, dude, I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
How does the sword activate precisely? Is it on impact?
Through breaking, yes.
Yeah.
What if you threw the sword with the express intent of just like throwing it on the floor, like 30 feet away from you?
You have to roll to be able to hit the floor and not accidentally throw it in the wrong direction.
Well, I mean, if it was to hit the intended target, it would activate on that area.
Yes, it would, yeah.
Yeah.
But you run the risk of, oh, you got a 7. You threw it over there to the left instead of over there to the right.
Somehow missed the floor.
Somehow missed the floor, yeah.
Symeon, pick an element. I said cold, fire, lightning, poison, no. Thunder. I thought thunder would be the same as lightning, to be honest.
I think
Thunder
I think
uh,
is
thunder's more like sound based. It's
Mhm.
very unclear. Lightning certainly sounds fun. I hear tales of a legendary warrior that wielded a hammer made of lightning.
I'll just take out my own sword that I charged and hand it over to him. There you go.
Oh, this is magnificent. Thank you. I know what you charge that with later, I guess, if you don't want to bog it down now.
Lightning chromatic orb.
The day draws on. Symeon attacks his dummy. Nargrax meditates and does some work on his little projects.
What do
And
need to-
Flint?
Oh, sorry, go on.
Flint
I'll work
makes
on
some
the-
work on his scroll. And that's where we're going to end up the session as the night draws in.
Fair enough.
But I want to play more.
Now, if you go on into the next section, it's going to take a decent bit of time, so
I was just about to say.
have to do it in another section.
Very nice.
You're breaking off here. I'm guessing that it's going to be long enough that it's going to want to end again now.
Aye, indeed.
I have to be up at work at like 7 a.m, so I'm already kind of cutting it a bit close.
Fair
Fair
enough,
enough.
yeah. Should have mentioned I would have tried to hurry it up a bit then.
That's fine.
Yeah, I apologise for asking so many questions. I had quite a lot stored up.
I knew we'd go to light this time. Cool.
We could go for another 2 hours if you really wanted.
No.
So we should be back again with this. Is it going to be Thursday going forward, or are we going back to Friday soon? this.
Hold on.
We're gonna have to see how best we can fit
It's
it in
going to
without.
be Elf's schedule because his
Yeah.
hours have changed.
Yeah,
so...
from this point on, it changes around. So I
Because
will.
most likely we're going to try and aim
That's
for
it.
your days off, specifically. Or try and sync up earlier sessions when we're all available.
I
We'll
think...
see what works out best.
Okay. I mean,
Most likely these next first few weeks of yours are probably going to be a bit rough for you, so we'll see.
so these will probably be a little bit more intermittent, but we should be jumping off at an interesting point when we get back. So, with that, let's move on very quickly to the shoutout section. So, Doom, do you have anything to say for us this evening?
And to kick some ass and chew some bubblegum. I'm all out healing potion. Also join us in Horde every night. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Bug gets to use all the explosions he wants. He now has a rocket launcher.
Yeah, I do.
You got a
Letting
rocket.
Bug loose with a rocket launcher. What's the
Yes.
matter with you?
Yeah, I questioned myself quite a bit when I did that.
Yes.
Bug
Yeah.
has more kills than both of us combined.
His
The
explosions
rocket launcher.
help us survive.
Yeah, it's a really strange situation. I mean, truly is the apocalypse when that is actually the best course of action forward. Anything else from you, Doom?
That's about it from me.
Okay, and moving on to me. I actually have been doing a Final Fantasy X challenge run with a ridiculous number of stipulations recently. Actually, going decently well. Just got to. I'll probably be on Dose High Road quite soon. So I think
Wait,
from
what?
this point on, I'll be able to get on a chocobo, sort of skip all of the most of the random encounters in that area, just
Yeah.
to be on the chocobo.
Did you get the item you wanted?
Nope, not yet.
Okay then.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to grind off stream for that. I'm not going to do that another hour or 2 hours on stream to just get that one item. So, yeah, hopefully by the next time I do stream, I will have done that and I'll be able to move on to something that's actually interesting to watch. But other than that, I'll be doing a Horde of the Dragon Queen this Saturday at 9 o'clock, and if all goes well, we should have a new player. Ooh, exciting.
Eruption continues.
Yes. But anyway, until that happens, let's move on.
Hmm.
Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach.
You've been streaming Castlevania Symphony of the Night, just finished it a couple of
Yes.
days ago. Today's stream was pretty bloody rough. You
Yeah.
tried to start Knights of the Old Republic,
I did.
but Knights of the Old Republic didn't seem to want to play
Mm.
ball. It had other ideas.
And there's only one thing I have to say, Bug.
Derpty derpty diddly
Could have
derpy
chance it
derpy
better.
dum. Rated PG-13.
That's
Yeah,
fair
you
enough.
definitely could.
Damn it.
But yeah. So follow Zach on Discord and Twitch. Anything else to say?
No, not really.
Okay. And finally, Mr. ForeverTheElf.
Hello there. You can follow me on all the things over on the right there. I'm still playing Spyro the Dragon on stream. It's going pretty well. I think I'm about 60% or so of the way through the game. Hopefully not too long to go.
Nah, you should be. Yeah, you should be getting to the empties, at least of the first Spyro game.
Yeah. Then after that, we're going to switch up and play something else. So, mystery.
Ah.
Is it Pokemon?
Don't know what it is yet. That's the mystery.
I was just about to say.
Fair enough.
That may actually just be like completely took the wind out yourselves. It's just like, okay, deep breathing exercises. Psychiatrist has told me to deal with these sorts of situations and not to instantly try and break that guy's neck. But aside from that, anything else to say right now?
Oh, that's it.
Okay,
Thanks for joining us. It's been fun.
very
good. So, short assassin tonight, but we managed to get some things done. Well, kinda. But we should be getting into the thick of it next time. But until then, we shall speak to you all very soon. And goodbye for now.
Na 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 na.